Hi, I'm Paul Santamon, the Director of Mortgage Lending at Champion School of Real Estate. I'm going to give you 5 reasons on why you should become a loan officer. Their earning potential is unlimited. This is one of the few jobs out there where you can make as much money as you want. Loan officers earn commissions on the loans they close. Your average loan amount, let's say, is $300,000. In some parts of the country, it'd be much higher, but let's use a low figure. At $300,000 per transaction, and let's say your commission split is 1%, you're earning about $3,000 on every closing. Do 3 to 4 of those closings in a month, and you're making over $120,000 a year. You get to help people. Buying a home is one of the biggest milestones in a person's life. As a loan officer, you get to help people achieve this lifelong dream of home ownership. It has a rewarding profession that generally changes people's lives for the better. Flexible business hours and freedom. Many loan officers get to make up their own schedules. With busy lives, family commitments, and personal appointments, it has a huge benefit to be able to create a good work-life balance. You learn something new every day. It's a challenging profession with constant learning opportunities. Every customer has unique needs, and if you like problem solving and like to think outside the box, this is the profession for you. You meet amazing people in this business. Everybody from professional athletes, movie stars, politicians. On top of that, loan officers are educated professionals who specialize in finance and come from all walks of life. You meet some of the most interesting people you'll ever want to meet in this profession. If these reasons have piqued your interest in becoming a loan officer, then check out the loan origination page on Champion School of Real Estate's website. We offer pre-licensing classes, exam prep, and career counseling to give you the best opportunity for success. I hope to see you soon.
Good morning, Champion students. Good morning, all of our friends on Facebook, social media, certainly all of our longtime students that are coming in from the classroom as well as Facebook. We always appreciate your business, and I always want to say thank you. I'm Rita Santa Maria. I'm the owner of Champion School of Real Estate and the founder of Champion School of Real Estate. And every month, I love having our superstar interview on YouTube. And every week, we have our Real Estate Superstars Today on our Champions podcast. So welcome wherever you're coming from. Our Real Estate Superstars Today absolutely gives everyone great motivation, wonderful new ideas on how to acquire more business, which ultimately leads to more income. And I know that we are very much interested in making more income. And today, the reason I invited Rima Balsar is one of our champions from the Austin area. She is an agent with eXp Realty in Austin, And I talked with Rima not too long ago. And when she told me that she doubled her income in less than 1 year, and that was very recent, I said, okay, we need to talk to you. We need to interview you and find out what did you do in less than a year to double your income. And a little aside to that, Rima has only been in business for 3 years and just a beautiful person, a champion. And with that being said, I'm going to say to you, Rima, what was the motivating reason that you chose to go into real estate? And good morning.
Good morning, Rita. Thank you. The more the reason why real estate, well, it was not something that I was going to do. Obviously, as a lot of my friends and family know, I come from a medical background, and real estate is something that I didn't know I would be good at. It wasn't something planned, but the story to break down was, we own, we did investments, we have investments. My husband thought that real estate in sales, I'll be really good at it, which felt like he knows a little bit more than I know myself. At the same time, I was busy doing two careers at the same time, getting my nurse practitioner degree and real estate degree. But he's like, one of the days I was working on my treadmill at home, he comes up to me. He's like, Rima, I think you need to try out for it and see how that's going to be. And of course, I'm like, I, what did you say? You want me to go through this and do another boards exam, another state exam, as if I've not done, with the nursing and the NP. So, I hesitated for at least a month or 2 months. But that being said, I didn't know what school to go to. I didn't know what online or in person. I had no idea. I didn't do any research. But fun story was I go driving around and I noticed Champions was right there. Like I said, I didn't know any, I knew a few of the other school. I'm like, well, this is Champion Real Estate. Let me go find out. Right when I get in, it's so welcoming, and the people over there gave me all the details that I needed and how I can get this done while I'm also doing the other licensing. So it could be done. So right then I was like, I'm on board. I'm doing this. I go home with all my books. I'm like, yay, I'm going to get this done. And of course he's all happy, but I did it. And I am extremely, extremely happy that I did. So I would have to
Rima,
for that.
what a spouse you have. He must think that you are an absolute rock star. You
Yeah.
were getting your nurse practitioner's license
Mhm.
and you had those boards to go through.
Yep.
And he says to you, Rima, I think you would be great in real estate.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe that's because he has a little bit of interest in real estate himself? Like, I know
Yeah,
you do investments.
he does. He really does. So
Yes, at some point, you may be a team.
at some
We have
point, yes.
lots of real estate teams. So you went into our Austin brick and mortar. And as our wonderful customers know, we have brick and mortar campuses in all the major metropolitan areas in Texas. And you walked in the door. That happened to be our older former location.
Mhm.
And you sort of let it go by the wayside, you tell me, and didn't really jump in 100%. But then in 2020, you jumped in 100%.
Mhm.
What caused you to really decide to go forward and get your real estate license? What happened during that time period of 2020, 2021 that motivated you?
Well, so I think the other reasoning is keeping my options open. So I'm like, all I've done was doing the medical. I don't know if I could do. Well, I did. Well, that be not. I've done sales as growing up, working at selling printers and all of that. I've done sales. So I think at that point he knew that. But my, the point was that I think I can do it. I should give myself a try. and see
How you do.
how I do, basically, not to just block
Exactly.
myself from it. And I had
Now
that time at the minute, right? I had the time to do that.
to
Um,
try it and
mhm,
work at it.
and work at
Now,
it.
you told me that you keep your nurse practitioner's license active,
Yes.
and you do that so that you keep that certification active. But my thoughts are it probably also is a good inroad for referrals
Yes.
within that particular industry. Does it help you with referrals a little bit?
It does. So I've done the master's. I don't practice as NP. I practice as the actual nurse in the labor and delivery department. So I was like, hey, these guys just had a baby. They might want to expand, change out the homes, right? They moved into Austin. Something.
Exactly.
I like to obviously give that care service, but also think about, well, I'm also an agent, so I should start talking and introducing myself, because what at the end of the day it is, you have to let people know, right? You can't just be hidden inside the door and thinking that
I hope our
people know.
customers heard that. You
Yeah,
have to let people know that you are in real estate.
yeah.
And just to follow up on what you just said, they get to know you wherever you are working as a nurse practitioner. They know you are a valid, real person,
Mhm.
and they get to know you, they get to like you. And it's a whole lot easier doing that than basically knocking on doors or cold calling.
Yes.
So for sure, that has helped you. And then as you said, you worked so hard to get that license
Yeah.
that it you want to keep it active. You
Yeah.
absolutely do.
Yeah.
So what were the first couple of activities that you did when you started out in real estate?
Oh gosh, it was quite different, right? Because right when I started, a month later, the everything has shut down. So my very, as a brand new agent, I'm like, okay, I'm going to be doing this. How do I tell people? With joining a certain brokerage, that's the first thing they tell you is reach out to your friends and family, let them know that you're an agent, call them, text them, do all of that. But for me, I'm like, how do I save the time, the effort of easiest way to reach out to the people? And at that time, I know we had a lot of sales rep come in within the brokerage, introduce themselves, and I'm like, okay, why don't I ask? The number one thing I feel like is, people are always thinking, what if they said no? Why, what if that fear is there?
The fear of rejection. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm like, you know what? It is what it is. I need to be change that mind and just do what I need to do. I talked to him and he was actually perfectly fine. He was more relaxed than me doing my first video in front of a camera. And that same video I had posted on my first
Ah,
platform was on Facebook. And
okay.
that
Let's stop right there
motivated
for a minute. I
me.
want to follow up with a couple of things before we go that direction. And we always, at our brick and mortar campuses, we invite companies to come in and sponsor lunch for that very reason. When you're in the classroom and you're curious about what other companies offer, we invite any brokerage, every brokerage,
Mhm.
just get on the calendar, come in during the students' free time and talk about what your company offers. And I'm glad that worked for you.
Mhm.
So let me ask a follow up question to that. How many companies did you interview before you chose the one that you're with right now? You don't have to mention their names, but
Uh-huh.
how many did you interview with? Do you recall?
I probably recall because that day at that event, I remember probably 8 to 10 around that were there. And I think that's another special day that you guys bring all the companies together. On top of that, there was, while I'm taking the classes, the lunches we provided by different, companies too. So I would say overall, or about 10-ish or so. Just
Okay.
talking to them.
And that's really good and good information for our students to know because we tell them when you're brand new as an agent, whether you have a license already or not, you need to really find a place that feels like it's home for you. It may be a large company, it may be a small company, which we call boutique companies, or it may be just the spirit within that particular office that makes you feel like, yes, this is where I want to keep my license, or I think I will keep interviewing. So I'm just saying to those that are out there, maybe needing to interview with a few more companies to make sure this is the one you want to be with, they know you're going to interview other companies. They don't feel rejected. They know that's the name of the game. And you found the one that worked for you. And
Mhm.
then you were moving into another topic. So I'm going to bring you back and ask you that question that has to do with the direction that I know all of those that are watching or listening today want to know. How did you double your income in less than a year? And this was done very recently. What new direction did Rima go?
The first year is all about referrals, right? I just did that one video and that's it. I didn't do any other platform or any other videos posted on social media, nothing like that. My first year was just about letting my family and friends know that I was an agent. From then on, my first year was all about referrals from that on. But then from this year, I had to change my mind because being on camera and thinking about what to talk and thinking about what people would say or react to what you're posting was something that was hard for me to change. So
Mhm.
I really had to change that mindset this year and do more of the posts, do whatever I did for sale, for lease, just sold, coming soon, any real
Mhm.
estate related I would do in my life. I would make a small post and let everybody know that I'm actively, doing real estate.
Now, when you did a post, did you do a video post or a regular text post, photo combination? What do you feel really worked best for you?
My first one, usually the first few times was just a post of
Mhm.
just sold or just coming soon. It was just from Canva created regular posts, right? Now I'm getting to have a lot more people that are following me. So I'm like, okay, how do I do educational posts or do a post and write a blog in the bottom and give them that education, not just for sale for sold. It doesn't give them the right. I feel like they need to know a little bit more about
You're
real estate.
adding
Yes, adding a
information to
little
the
bit
post.
more value to that.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Very smart. You and I talked about generational selling,
Hmm.
and you made a really good statement that I know in many of our classes, especially marketing, we talk about generational selling. And
Hmm.
you said you have to be on all platforms because Facebook is really for more of an older generation, and
Hmm.
I'm using my words, not your words. But Facebook is more baby boomer, definitely Gen X as well. Seniors love it to keep up with pictures of family and what's going on in their kids' lives and such. Facebook is very important. But
Hmm.
then you said you felt like you hit a home run when you started using Instagram a lot.
Yes.
How did you realize that? How did that come about?
That came about, and when I was getting phone calls, and my number one question when I get a phone call from a person that I don't know is, "How did you find me?" Right? And I would collect that data, and then obviously put my more effort on that platform. So a lot of them were actually coming from Instagram. I probably got like 10 to 20 leads just from that. Um, and so I knew, okay, well, I need to work better on putting Instagram on number one and seeing which platform I need to work better to grow it, because I know the leads were coming from one versus the other one a lot more. And then yeah, so that's how I kind of knew that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And then recently you've moved to TikTok.
Yes.
And TikTok, again, is more generational, it's more Gen Y. certainly a little bit of Gen X, and everybody uses everything. And
Mhm.
yet, overwhelming majority we know because at Champion School of Real Estate, we have our social media department, social media director. We agree with you 100%. It's very, very important.
Mhm.
But again, using TikTok, how were you introduced to TikTok?
Oh gosh, TikTok, as from my age, I'm like, why would I want to do TikTok? It's more of people just dancing and doing things, and I felt like it wasn't
Right.
my platform. Um, but then I'm like, you know what? I don't have to do the dances. I don't have to do that. What I need to do is just get my message out to the people that are not in Instagram or Facebook. And I work also with a lot of younger clients, and obviously in the nursing care field, there's a lot of young people that just graduated and joined. And I
Mhm.
like, okay, what platforms have you guys been using mostly? And that was like, okay, well, okay, these really young people are getting more onto TikTok. So there's something that I need to do to get started on TikTok. So I would do the same videos, same, mainly I do Instagram and then I'll repost it to the TikTok because there's a different public in the TikTok versus the Instagram. But that's how I kind of figure is different younger people that I was getting into. And I would basically just ask them, like, what do you guys use? Right. Like, um,
Smart. You
yeah.
did your own research.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to recap a couple of things that you've said in my terms because so many of your statements reflect what I talk about in 30 Days to Success, my book coaching series. And
Okay.
that is, you told me when we talked, and again today on our podcast, how you were trained to let everybody know that you're in real estate, to let everyone know that you now can help them. And yet, what we call cold calling, just letting people know, friends, family, oh, I'm in real estate now. Please help me. For a lot of people, that's very intimidating.
Hmm.
And it also, as you mentioned, gives you that concern of rejection. So,
Yes.
what you did, you went a different direction that really helped you in the last year. You
Hmm.
said, oh, I'm going to use social media. I can be Rima. I can be my very best. I can be informative and do it all on social media. You're obviously still asking for the business, but you're
Hmm.
doing it a different way. You're doing it indirectly with here are my open houses just listed, just sold, and putting that on different platforms. And I congratulate you for that. Do you have someone that videos you? Is it your spouse, or do you have a particular person that just does that for you? What is your direction that you're using right now? Time, money, or combination?
Time, yes, is there. Money depends on how much you want to spend, depends on how much you can do on your own. Um, and then, so basically, most of my videos, I do it by myself. I get the stand equipment and all of that because for me, time is also important. So if I'm scheduling a videographer, doing all of that, it does take that time planning. But when I'm out there and doing something that I'm like, okay, I got to get this in the video or get this message out to my
Smart.
audience, I have to make sure I
Good.
have a little stand on my purse. I have all these little gadgets or in my car with a microphone, uh,
Love it.
the gear for shooting the homes and shooting myself talking about the homes. So right now it has been me so far, but last 4 to 5 months, I know I had started out getting a videographer for just the YouTube because I didn't know how to do the editing and all of that by myself. But now I don't use them because I've learned it. So
You've learned it yourself.
yeah.
Well, I was hoping that was your answer, and I really didn't know the answer because the important thing is you get the information out there and you get it out quickly, and they
Yep.
get to know Rima. And you
Mhm.
don't have to wait for that professional person to make every angle absolutely perfect. Your approach, which is an approach that works all day long,
Mhm.
is do it to the best of your ability, learn what you are trying to get across to make it better. And I love the fact you're open to change. You said, I'm going to go a different direction. I'm using social media. I'm going to be generational in my sales approach. I have to hit Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, any form, any platform that I know will get all different age groups. Now, I believe you started out as a brand new agent in construction. How did that come across?
That came across with a lot of people buying new construction right now. So I've built both of my homes as a new construction. So I kind of knew the process and the way about. And the clients that actually I would get firsthand was also wanting more of a new construction. There's so much new construction happening in Austin that the growth that had happened within the course, the amount of movement that happened, a lot of my clients, what they were looking was for the new construction. So I actually did take a new construction, get certification in new construction through you guys, and got certified. So kind of helps them know that I have a certified in new construction because I was getting so many. After 3 or 4, I'm like, okay, what else can I do to make sure they know I'm a specialist in new construction also? So I feel like adding some
You just
classes,
added more
learning
credibility. Yes.
credibility does help.
Our one-day new home construction course gives you such a good foundation
Yes.
for being able to talk intelligently to new home buyers.
Mhm.
And you wanted to add credibility with some initials behind your name.
Mhm.
And I applaud you for that. Plus, it helped you tremendously.
Mhm.
I also am curious, are you a pure residential agent, or do you do all different types of real estate transactions?
I've started out with pure residential, but now I'm doing all kinds because of the investors that have been reaching out to me. I've started doing more of also land and leaning towards commercial slowly in that because of the demand, basically. So yes.
I tell everyone that real estate license is good for the whole state of
Mhm.
Texas. And as well, it's also good for, as you are just discussing, going into commercial,
Mhm.
going into farm and ranch, maybe getting more into the property management.
Yeah.
And I want to ask you, have you taken any of our commercial courses that we offer at Champion School of Real Estate?
Mhm. I try to take all the courses that I can from you guys because I already know, right? I'm like, okay, I know champions. I started out. It's
And
easy.
we thank you for that. We thank you for that. We have an excellent commercial course, excellent farm and ranch taught by a great farm and ranch broker in Washington County. So I applaud you. I know you're getting as much education as you can.
Mhm.
Let me take it a little more personal.
Right.
You told me that you have twins
Mhm.
and one of each, boy, girl. How does Rima juggle being a mom as well as having family, children? We have new people that often wonder, how can I juggle both of these activities? How does Rima do this?
Oh gosh, yes. At starting, it's difficult. Look, when your kid tells you that, "Mom, I always see you on your phone." That sentence kind of stuck to me. I was like, okay, what's going on here? That my kids are telling me that I'm always on my phone. That means that I got to do some kind of work family balance. Like that needs to happen now. Um, so as soon as my son was like, okay, mom, you're always on the phone. I'm like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And then obviously I had to every night before, I mean, this is done weekly, like every Sunday, I'm like, okay, what's on my calendar? I'm scheduling everything out, seeing how my week is going to be. Now I'm planning every single thing. Before it was just like, I'll go with the flow. It did not work. at all. You get very burnt out, you get frustrated, nothing goes the way you want to get it done. So time management was a big thing. So before going to sleep the next day, I'll look at my appointments. What is the important thing that I have to do right away? Get those out of the way and try to get everything done before my kids come home. And put that value that I need for them. And then now, because I was getting busy, you guys, at a certain point, real estate is not something people say that you have to get yourself out there. You have to do your work to succeed. And I did do that. But you also later on will realize that you're getting to a success point that you need to hire people to do your stuff because you're going to get burned out. And that's what was happening. Family
Your
is not going to be happy.
right. Your story is very, very normal, very common. I'm going to back up a little bit. I so appreciate your sharing with us how you moved into time management to say, I need to plan everything so that I have time for my family, my children. We all get caught up, certainly with our cell phones. We get caught up on our computers. I know that spacing out every day what you're going to do and when you're going to do it is sometimes a lot of trouble, but it helps. I sometimes hear, gee, I tried to get a hold of you on your cell phone and I didn't hear from you for a few hours. I personally operate where first thing in the morning, I look at my cell phone, I look at my computer, come to the office, take care of business in the office. And then at lunchtime, I'll look at my cell phone again, and then I look at it at the end of the day. Otherwise, I personally get so distracted with social media and cell phone
Yep.
that I know that doesn't work for me. And those that are on their cell phone all the time tend to want you to be the same way.
Yes.
But I have to space my timing throughout the day on when I'm going to check for messages so that my day isn't just gone. And I applaud you for being aware of that and doing time management. And the other upside that I just want to share with anyone listening, the great thing about real estate and the reason I went into it years ago, I could be with my children during the day. I could tell my clients I have an appointment, that appointment being maybe basketball practice, volleyball, cheerleading, whatever it was the kids were involved in. That is a real plus for being your own boss, being an entrepreneur.
Mhm.
What do you do for Rima? What do you do, let's say, to keep Rima mentally on point and not worn out? Tell us about a day in the life of Rima.
Oh gosh. Gosh, it's changed now from what it was last year, right? I had to change it out. What I do now is I was not doing exercises before. I was not doing meditation before. But as I'm growing myself, my business, my team, my kids are doing a lot more activities now. So it's a lot of things happening in my life. So I know it might sound a little bit crazy for, well, those that I've already told that I do try to get up in the morning and try to work out because this is the only time I could get it done. Usually it's around 5 or 4:45 in the morning. Come home, do my
Wait, wait,
appointment.
wait. You get up at 4:45
Well, that's when the
to
class
work out.
starts. Yeah.
Are you working out at home or do you go
I used
someplace?
to do that before. I used to work out at home, but then I had to get out and, well, I guess, get a little bit motivated and change, right? It's kind of like a coach is telling you to do your moves, to do the workouts. So I needed that somebody telling me to do the workouts to help
So
me.
what time does your class start in the morning?
The only there, I mean, they start all during the day, but usually the one that kind of makes me want to go is that first one at 4:45.
That's what I was wanting you to repeat because for those of us, including myself, that think we don't have time to work out,
Oh, there's
you are up and out the door, 5 a.m. class.
yeah.
Then you come home, and what happens after you get home from
Yes, I
class?
get home about 5:45. So 4:45 to 5:45 is the class. And then I come home and then I'll do meditation about 20, 30 minutes, then wake up my twins, get them breakfast, lunch ready, out the bus they go. And then usually I'm prepping my meals for the day because once that 9 o'clock hits, it's usually my routine is get on the laptop, get all the emails answered, get all the appointments, see what's going on, and then see my clients. Okay, who are active clients? Who is thinking about buying? So I have a format that I use to see my active, my clients that are in the middle, and my cold leads that will be. And then I reach them out at least once a week and see what's going on. What are they thinking? Especially right now, it feels it's good to kind of keep in touch with them. Yeah.
Excellent. That absolutely is amazing that you do meditation. Then you are ready for the day and you feel like you're prepped for the day.
I've seen it help me significantly. I mean, obviously there are days you're just like you don't want to wake up, you don't want to do this, and that does happen, which is normal. But I think at the end of the day, if I get some kind of workout and some kind of like 20-minute or even like a quick 10-minute nap, that kind of boosts your energy, right? Like I'm thinking about when I'm napping, all my production comes when I'm napping too, that quick nap. What I
Well,
can do.
taking
Yeah.
time out for yourself always makes us better. It brings new ideas,
Yeah.
new goals into place. And that being said, what are your future goals? What are your plans? You mentioned something about maybe adding a team or at least a transaction specialist.
Mhm.
Do you
So
have that line itemed out on a schedule?
yeah, so
Where do you go from here?
yeah, I was doing everything on my own within the production that I have done. My agent, so the real estate agents within my brokerage, they're like, why are you doing this? You can't keep doing this alone. You're expanding, you're growing. You need to hire a TC to take away that paperwork tasks and do that. I'm like, oh, okay. So now I have a TC, and then now I also have another agent that I added. And that being said, that brings about Champion. She was taking classes during COVID situation that was online, didn't work for her. So I told her go to Champions, and that was it. She
Thank
passed
you.
the first time
We
around.
so appreciate that so much.
She
Thank you.
really loved
You know,
Champions too.
I'm sitting here thinking that you're just a pretty special person. You obviously are very determined and focused on your business. You still work as a nurse practitioner. I think you said 1 or 2 days, either a week or 1 or 2 days a month. Um,
Mhm.
you're working on building your business. You're up at whatever 4:45 to exercise, do meditation after that. And for people listening that think, oh my goodness, I don't know how I can go into real estate while such and such and such is going on. It's all about focus, planning, instituting that plan. And I so congratulate you for the amazing job that you're doing.
Yeah, I think the number
And
one
I
is
want
mindset.
to, and I really as well can understand why your managers are saying that you're going to be ready for help really soon. But did you ever use a personal coach? Because coaches are so very popular. Did you ever use a coach?
I thought about a coach, yes, because actually that's also my husband's input. He was like, at a certain success level, you may need some push behind you to help you get to another level of what you have already achieved. Everybody needs a mentor, everybody needs a coach. And I was going to go ahead. I've interviewed several, and then I came across Jarek Robbins, son of Tony Robbins. I did an interview with him. Actually, my first talk with him was Zoom meeting, was literally 3 hours, and I'm like, we just connected. It was amazing. Did an interview with him for my channel, and then I launched with him for his program. My coach was out of Italy. He was amazing, and he's still amazing. He was still so I used the coaching, yes, for 6 months, and it was beneficial. But what he had told me is like, Rima, I think you already know. The main thing is your mindset and what you're doing with it. He kind of changed that around for me a little bit. So yes, I did use coaching. Yes, it did help me a one step further on my mind thought process, because I didn't even know that, but he was like, you're carrying a little bit too much on what's happening with all your posts. You should not be doing that. The whole point is to get the message out, change your mindset. You got to just change your thought process of your interactions with anybody and everybody you're doing. And he did help in that point very well. And I'm so happy that I have him, or I had
I
him in my life.
I believe coaches are good, especially starting out,
Mhm.
or if you've reached a level in your career where you can't seem to go to the next level. Coaches help you come up to the level that you're looking to attain. Most people are like you. They use a coach for a certain amount of time
Yeah.
and they get that wonderful benefit or they get that habit
Hmm.
and the habit moves into place.
Yes.
And then they are ready to not have to have that coach anymore because the habit has been acquired.
Yeah.
I really am surprised. I didn't realize you had a coach, and you definitely picked a very fine one. There
Hmm.
are lots of coaches out there.
Yeah.
What do you do to unwind
Uh,
when you have a full day? What is your way of just letting down and relaxing?
so that's what my coach had asked me too. Basically, and I did not think about it, but now, I've been thinking, what do I really like to do to just unwind? So right around 8 p.m., literally, because we wake up early, I'm in my room. I'm like, I've spent time with my kids, I've spent with my husband. I'm like, I need my alone time for that hour to wrap up. So I would just sit on my bed, read a nice inspirational quote book, or write down my thought process of how my journey. And then I've been writing out my journey as an agent from the day one till now. So I love watching it and writing it down and reevaluating my goals. Just every night I'm doing that. So
Good for you.
it helps me.
I'm sitting here mystified that you can get your twins to not bother you or interrupt you at 8 o'clock
So
at night.
they know.
That's a
They
little
range
major
through.
accomplishment right there.
Yeah.
If you had any advice to yourself from the way you started your business, would there be anything you would change, Rima, from starting out?
Anything that I would change. Yeah. One thing that I would tell agents is to just do it. Just go for it. Don't think too much on how, why, what's going to happen. Fear, don't let the fear get to you. Just go for it, do it, be out there and enjoy the process, because that's number one thing, is to enjoy what you're doing. And I didn't know I would love real estate as much as I do. I mean, not knowing, not having planned in my life being an agent, and coming from somebody else that knows you well and he's telling me to be an agent, I love it. So I just enjoy it and do what you got to do.
Great ending statements. Everyone has fear, but don't let the fear hold you back from being the success that you want to be. And just go forward and have fun. If you enjoy what you're doing, whatever that career is, you will be a success at it.
That's true.
So I admire what you have done in such a short time. I admire all of the activities that you do during a 24-hour period. And I'm really proud to be able to call you one of our champion graduates. So, with that being said, I am going to wish you further success
Thank you.
and just thank you. Thank you for your business. And again, this is Rima Balsar. And pronounce that last name correctly because I know I'm messing it up.
Balsar.
Okay, I'm going to let you do that. You are a beautiful, lovely person, and you are with eXp Realty in the Austin region. And I know that our students will love hearing you on our podcast. They will also love seeing you and hearing you on our Champions YouTube. Our podcast, again, please, all of our friends of Champions, be a subscriber. It's on Spotify, Apple, Google, and it's Real Estate Superstars Today. Thanks again, Rima, and thank you, everyone, for your business. We will see you in the classroom, and best of luck to everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.